welcome back to the channel. Um, this is Becoming Ray, and this is a channel where I really come on here and speak about whatever's on my mind. There's really no specific rhyme or reason to any of the videos. I just sit in front of my computer and I record and then I post it. There's no editing, no anything. So with that being said, it's been a while since I posted on here because, again, I don't force myself to post. I just post whenever I feel like it. But it's something that has been on my mind after having just created content for my other channel is the fact that, like, there is a difference between maturing and being grown. And although it seems self-explanatory and like something that's common sense, I don't think that we pay attention to the difference enough, and that like we make the distinction enough. And so I'm just gonna talk about what that looks like for me, because I was realizing that, like, obviously most of us say that we can't wait until we turn 18 or 21 so we can be grown. But I've been thinking that just like age doesn't make you grown. You can be 40 and still not be grown mentally, because, like, yes, you're grown in age, but you might have the mindset of a 14-year-old. And that's why on TikTok a lot of people say I'm a teen mom, and they'll be like 20s and 30s, and it's because they're saying mentally they're not in a space to be a parent yet, and they don't feel like they're ready. And I think that while I never outwardly voiced it, inwardly it was feeling very true. Not that I was a teenage person, but just that I wasn't fully grown to the point where, like, I was ready to be someone's mother. And life happened, and so I became a mom, and you kind of just go with it. But after the breakup with my son's father earlier this year, and doing a lot of internal work, actually, like, I have realized that, like, I was immature. I was a kid when I met his dad. I was a kid when we were trying things again, even just last year. And within this last year, I had a little girl mindset. Like, I was not ready to be someone's mom and to be someone's wife. And we were not married, but in a lot of ways we were heading towards marriage. We had moved in together, and I was cooking for him and washing his clothes and all the things, so it was leading there. And I realized that, like, after the breakup, I was like, I'm not ready for marriage at all. Like, I'm not ready. I'm not gonna say I'm not ready to settle down, but I'm not there yet mentally to be able to take care of someone. Like, I'm just now learning how to take care of me properly. I'm just now learning how to take care of my son properly. And you want, not that you want me, but like, and I was expected to take care of a whole grown man, and it was just like I didn't do well at it. Like, I definitely failed at it because, again, I didn't have the proper mindset. I felt like I shouldn't have to do those things, and why would I do those things? And just very immature in my thinking. I didn't know what it meant to be in a relationship. I think I was still treating the relationship as if we were in high school, and not like we were two grown adults with a child. And that is where things went wrong on my part. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, and I can take full accountability for that. And so when we talk about maturing, I realized that, like, relationships are a two-way street, and you can't just expect someone to give, and you're not giving anything back. Um, and I'm not saying that I wasn't giving anything, but I think that, like, I also wasn't giving the level, I wasn't giving to the level that I expected him to. So a really great example is, like, I expected him to emotionally and unconditionally love and support me, and did I do that for him? I did not. I did not. Um, I expected him to financially provide for me, but did I do anything for him? No, I didn't. Um, like, I wanted him to go out of his way, but I wasn't willing to go out of my way. And that's just not realistic. And I am going to be the first person in line to judge me. I will not point a finger at anyone without pointing the finger back at myself, because it I was as much at fault as he was in the relationship ending. And this is my first time ever, like, voicing that out loud, even to myself. Like, I'm processing as I'm speaking. And um for a while after that breakup, I stayed single, and now here we are in August, and, like, I'm dating again, and I'm looking at things differently, and I'll give you a perfect example. Last night I was coming from a place of selfishness again with this new situation, relationship, whatever. And I found myself making it all about me again. And I was like, wait, why are you why are you doing that? Like, you would be mad if they did that to you. So why are you treating them like that? Um and I was being very selfish, and so I had to take a minute and I had to be like, you know what? I can't do that, because I wouldn't want someone to do that to me. So you have to treat people the way that you want to be treated, and you have to admit when you're not doing that. I think that that's a huge part of maturing that people don't talk about. It's like, yeah, you gotta call yourself out, and you gotta be like, I was acting like a child, I was acting like a spoiled brat. And I think so much of today's world normalizes that just because we're women, and it's not cool. Because even though we are different than men, um, that doesn't mean we get to act out and act immaturely and act however we want to just because we're a female and blame it on hormones, you know? Like, I don't believe in that. I don't think that that's fair. Um, there was a podcast by Jay Shetty. He was interviewing Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it really stuck with me because he was talking about, like, you can't attract your dream person if you're not your dream person. And it really resonated with me because he was like, you're not going to be operating from that frequency, so you're not going to be able to attract that person. And even if you do, you're not going to be able to keep that person because you're not at that par. And so as long as we continue to expect more than we're willing to give to others and to ourselves, there's always going to be a disconnect. So I think my biggest thing that I'm working on and will continue to work through is becoming the version of myself that I want to attract, like the version of myself that I want to my husband to be. So, like, I want him to be supportive, so I have to be supportive of him. I want him to be financially stable, so I have to be financially stable. I want him to be um, a healthy communicator, so I have to be a healthy communicator. Like there's all these things, and it's like you can't want things that you yourself are not willing to work on becoming and work on developing. That doesn't require perfection, but it does require honesty to meet with yourself and be like, yeah, I'm not meeting. Like if my partner were doing this, would I stick around with me? And half of the time we wouldn't, but we expect that from other people. um I was talking to my sister about, like, it makes sense why this person is single and why we're not working out. And my sister was like, well, you can't say that because then people would say the same about us. And I was like, I know. Like, that's the reality of it. Is like, it makes sense why I'm still single, or was single, because of the way that I was acting. Um, and that's just real. Like, you gotta get real and you gotta get raw and you gotta get honest with yourself and with your journey to really become better. You gotta be willing to face yourself in the mirror and, like, if you don't like what you see, you have to be the one willing to change that. And I'm not just talking cosmetically, physically, I'm talking internally. Like, if you don't like your own attitude, or if you wouldn't allow someone to have that attitude towards you, why do you have that towards them? So those are the kind of things that I'm thinking about and reflecting on and constantly in a season of working through. And I just wanted to come on and share that with you all. I don't know if it'll resonate with anyone. I hope it'll resonate with someone. Um, but thank you all for watching. And until next time, I'll see you in the next one.